we're gonna start by outlining our painting. So I want you to grab some magenta and we're gonna do a basic lip shape. And this lip shape is going to kind of be placed in the middle of our study. You can always adjust it later, but you're gonna make a loose M for the top, and then we'll kind of go underneath it like this. And then for the bottom lip, we're gonna make a little line, go again, do another kind of curved line underneath, and then you'll round it out on the bottom for that bottom lip. So we kind of have the first set of lips right here, the top and the bottom, and you can always adjust these lips as needed. We're gonna do the lips there, and then we'll just kind of make a brief little indent up here for the nose. We're gonna make the nostrils 2 circles kind of above these sloped indent, 2 circles, and then again another curved shape right here, bringing it up, and then kind of like this for that nose. So we're gonna have lips, nose, and if you want, you can mark the chin out down there. Okay, our next step is going to be working dark to light. I am using Payne's Gray, or you can use a Prussian blue, but instead of using black, we're gonna come in and we're gonna put the darkest elements of our nose and mouth into our painting. So we're gonna do the nostrils here, and then we're gonna go right here, right inside the lips, kind of building out that darker shadowed portion there. And if you want, you can stick a little bit of that blue under the lips, but we're gonna start here for our darkest color. I'm gonna get a little water on my brush. I'm gonna work into purple. So I'm gonna take the magenta and a little bit of that blue and a touch of white. And now that we have this purple color, you're gonna bring this purple one right on top of the blue to begin creating those teeth. We're also gonna take this shadowed color, we're gonna go underneath the chin, continuing to build out the darker sections and that layers we're gonna be seeing in her face. And we can even take this purple color, we can make it a little more pink, and we can go around the nostrils, just like so, and off to the side. So we're beginning to see how we want this nose to take shape, how we want these lips to take shape by adding the shadows. From here, we're gonna grab our base color. So I want these lips to be pretty dark. I want them to be a nice popping red. So I'm gonna mix magenta and cadmium red. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this color and we're going to apply it to the entire lip. So I want you to cover the upper and lower lip in the same red color, just like so. So you can be a little loose with it. We're gonna take this color, bring it down. You can go into that pale purple color we added for the teeth. You can expand on it if necessary. I'm gonna go all the way down and keep covering your lips until they're completely red. And now we do the bottom lip. They do meet up in the side. I'm gonna go in right here, just the entire lip, just like so. All right, now that we've got our lips covered, what we're going to do is we're gonna go back into the dark color, that Prussian blue or Payne's Gray. We're gonna take this color again, and we're gonna kind of shape the inside of the mouth where we're gonna see a little bit of a shadow of some teeth. We're gonna go right in here, and we're just gonna continue to fine tune and build out this section of the mouth. All right, so now that we've got it slightly parted, rinse your brush off and take a little bit of fluorescent pink, a little bit of white, red, and we're gonna make just a slightly lighter color than the red we used for these lips. We're gonna begin to build out and create dimension in these lips. So now I want you to go one shade lighter, and I want you to take this color, this red, this deep pink, I want you to take this color and I want you to apply it to the middle of the lips. So you're not gonna cover up the red that you were using, that dark magenta color. You're not covering that up. We're still gonna keep that. But I want you to take this the dark color on the bottom and the light color towards the top. Okay, so add a little more white and a little more fluorescent pink to the pink color you're using, and we're gonna add this. We're gonna go right along the top. We're just gonna kind of loosely brush it in like so. This is gonna begin to create the dimension, the depth, some of that texture that you see in the lip. We're gonna take this lighter color and we're gonna continue to add it into our painting. So add a little more white right in here and right through the middle again. I'm gonna darken up the top portion of the lip right here. So I'm gonna take a little bit of blue, a little bit of red, maybe make more of a purpley brown color. I'm gonna put this color up towards the top of the lip, and I'm gonna put the same dark brown color, maybe even add a little more blue to it. I'm gonna take the same dark color and place it along the underside of the lip. So now that we have that, we're gonna begin to build out the face structure. We're gonna take some orange and we're gonna use this orange to begin building shadows and skin tone in our face, because we want to really round out these lips. And once we kind of do the lips and the chin and the surrounding skin, then we'll go back up into the nose. So we're gonna take a base color, a nice orange, peachy base color, and we're gonna apply this color all around her face. It does not have to be perfect. You can kind of tweak the color every time you go through, but we're gonna place the skin color all the way up to the edge of our canvas. We're gonna cover basically the entire thing with this orange base color. I'm gonna take a little more white and a little more pink, and I'm gonna move it in. I'm gonna bring this peach color again up and into the skin above the nose. So we have, it's slightly lighter up here in this section. That's absolutely okay. We just added a little bit of white into this section. We're gonna place it right here, and we're gonna allow this color, this slight subtle change. I'm gonna add a little yellow now. We're gonna allow this subtle change to help create depth and be the beginning of our skin color. Under the nose, I'm gonna add a little bit of blue. So that's gonna kind of turn the skin tone into slightly green. That blue is gonna make it a little more shadowed. It's really gonna help with that depth and the way that we change the look of skin colors in our portraits. Because we're still working with a shadowed area, I'm gonna take yellow, blue, and brown. Yellow, blue, and red. I'm gonna take that, create a brown, and I'm gonna begin to apply it right above the nostrils right here. So we've got a fairly dark color, something that we're probably not gonna be seeing on this face. So I'm gonna take a little white, a little yellow, and I'm gonna begin to lighten it up as I build out this nose. Now the highlight for our nose, much like the lips, is going to sit right in the middle. So you're going to paint this caramel peach color. You're gonna paint that right along the bottom half, and then we're gonna take the lighter color and we're gonna add it up here to the bridge of the nose. And so we're gonna be creating the differences in shape and giving the illusion of depth as we build out this nose. So here we'll take red yellow, orange. We're going to take these colors and begin to build them out into the nose, just kind of figuring out what we want the shape to look like. We've got orange on the top, brown on the bottom. I'm going to make that brown even a little darker, a little more mysterious, and so I'm going to add some blue into there. And then I'm going to rinse my brush, and I'm going to grab more of this peach color, and I'm just going to block off the rest of my face right over here. So I'm going to take a little more white, because if you guys are thinking about a face as a whole, you are going to see these lighter cheek sections as you go up towards that portion of the face. So we've got a pretty big brush right now, and we're just kind of figuring out where we want these colors. All right, so now that we've got the main elements blocked in, what we're going to do is we're going to continue layering up. We're going to fine tune it, break it down, and really make it match. So we've got the nose. Let's go back to that. We're going to take this peach color we have, and we're going to add a touch of cyan blue to it. We're going to get a beautiful teal. It's going to be a great green color that we can use to begin creating interest and just a bit of surprise to the nose. We can take a little more yellow to it, really change the color and make it more exciting. And we're going to begin to layer up along the sides, thinking about how the light is kind of just grouping together in the tallest points on the face. So the more pointed out it is, the more light or the brighter it's going to be. We're going to go back into that cyan blue, and you can take a little white. We're going to take this color and we're going to begin to apply it over here on the left side of the face. We're going to take this color and we're going to use it to create those divots under the nose. You can even add a little bit of white, a little more yellow, and we're going to begin to just kind of play around with this color, figuring out how we would like our face to look. Since we're bouncing around and adding color as it feels good, as it seems right, we're going to grab some pink, and we're going to place pink in the middle of the nose, just kind of along the side, and then over on the side of the nostrils. We will take the same pink color and apply it to the cheeks, going back into that green color, and then maybe a darker orangish red color along the side of the nose, because again, you're going to see that shadow where it's sticking out. We want to blend this darker color and really create depth and begin to see how the different colors in a face are interacting with each other. So I'm going to grab some green. I'm going to go around the side again. I'm going to go back into the orange, dragging it around and down along the side. You can grab some blue as well and just kind of begin to brush it in. You can go right into orange. You can take a big, vibrant orange blob and you can add that under the nose and on the tip, taking it off to the side. We'll grab a little bit of green, some of this lime color, and we'll add that to the upper lip right here. Let's go back into light pink, and you're going to begin to brush this color onto the cheek. And the one thing I want you to think about is when you're looking at a face, especially if you ever, put on makeup, you have rosy cheeks, you tend to have a cooler complexion down towards your nose and around your chin. You've got more of a shadow, by your cheekbones. I want you to use that knowledge and use it to help you figure out where to put your colors for your painting. We're gonna mix up a purple. So take some blue, some ultramarine blue, and a little bit of fluorescent pink, or you can use magenta. We're gonna take some of this lavender color, and we're gonna use this to help us map out and finalize our nostril, and then even under the chin. We're gonna take this color, we're gonna bring it down into the chin, and we're gonna take the same lavender color and apply it to the teeth. And so you've got a little bump right there in the middle for those middle teeth, and then you can just brush it all the way across to the side. If you take a little bit of white and a little bit of that purple, maybe a little cyan blue, something a touch lighter, you can use this to begin layering up your teeth. We'll do one more color and pulling it out to the side. So you won't have pure white teeth. This little difference in the way that it looks is gonna help build up that color. And if you take pure white, you can take that white and just apply it to the front and the bottom of the teeth. I want you to make a really bright pink. So grab some white and a little bit of fluorescent pink. And we're gonna use this color to add some highlight to the lip. You're gonna add that right to the top and then again in the middle. And if you went too far or too crazy with your highlight, you can, of course, go back in with your pink color that you're using and add it back for that highlight. So we've got the shadow, our lips are pretty much done. We're gonna bounce back into the skin color and taking note of the chin and the way it gets lighter, we're gonna begin to add a lighter color, building it up and out, just like we've been doing. So I'm gonna take some pink and I'm gonna brush it down along the side. Like I mentioned, the skin tends to get a little cooler as we go down, so go ahead and mix some green or some blue into these colors around the mouth. We're gonna get some bright cyan blue. That's gonna be so pretty. We're gonna use this color around the corners of the mouth. And you can even dip back into that purple if you'd like to create more of an intense shadow. You can use pink, yellow, red to really create something dark and striking. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little pink, a little cyan, a little blue, a little white. I'm just gonna make a subtle, more of a darker blue, and I'm gonna use this color over here on the left side of our face. And I'm gonna work my way back up to this bright, vibrant peach. So I'm gonna grab some red and blend it in. I'm gonna go up to that color right there, this peach color, and I'm gonna mix another variation of it, pulling it down, adding a little white, finding the shadow, blending it up again, because you're gonna notice you have highlights in the cheeks. Around this nose section, you've got a nice highlight going down. You're gonna see that same green highlight both in your chin area and also at the tip of the nose. So keep painting, keep layering. If you have a darker side, that's absolutely okay, like this side I've got on the right. That's just gonna help you figure out where your colors are, how you wanna layer, where the light is hitting, and you'll be able to continue working that as you go. I'm gonna take more of this blue color, the cyan color, and brush it down around the edges of my canvas. I'm gonna grab a vibrant yellow-green, mix that in, and I'm gonna take more pink and more yellow, use that to create the highlight you see in the chin area. Because there's a bit of shadow under the lip, I'll make more of a darker orange right there. I think that looks good. And we'll do a little highlight kind of under the lip right here, because you do see a brighter skin color around that way. I'm gonna go into the red and I'm gonna clean up the lip. You're gonna just go around like that again. Anywhere else that you see color you might like to accentuate or add, if you have a cooler section, more blues and purples, just keep adding and playing with that color to create the depth that you're looking for as you brush out and build these colors up to white.